Hello and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 6 of Agents of Travel. I'm Rachel Van Ness.
And I'm Garrett Palm.
And this is the show... where we softly interrogate our guests for all their travel stories and we pitch them their dream trip.
Yeah,
Today,
we do have to do it softly. We are gentle interrogators.
Yes, absolutely. Because a good interrogator knows that people need to feel safe to divulge their secrets.
Exactly.
And today we have an awesome guest for you. We've got
Kimmy
Jiminez.
Jiminez. I worked with Kimmy at Smosh. She's now kind of off on her own doing a bunch of stuff. She'll occasionally upload to her YouTube. You can watch, you know, she's got an Instagram. She's got a TikTok.
And where can people follow Kimmy?
Kimmy does stuff. That's her handle.
Oh,
Kimmy
I was
does
like,
stuff.
oh, I know.
Yeah. So Kimmy does stuff. I think that's where she uses for most places. That's where you can find her on Instagram. She's also co-host of The Dogs Were Good, a podcast about dogs.
Important.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, and so check her out. Kimmy does stuff.
And
pretty much everywhere.
She really does do stuff. She
does.
produces, she acts, she travels.
Yeah.
And she is also married to Shane, who was on our podcast last episode.
Yeah, back-to-back couples.
Mm-hmm.
I know. This is our first... I think this is the first time we've had a couple.
We've completed a couple.
We've completed a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to have a couple on an episode together someday. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We've pitched that to some couples before.
So with Kimmy and Shane, you'll just have to mentally imagine,
yes,
kind of like go back and forth between their episodes and listen to them side by side, and then you'll get the real couple experience.
Exactly, especially on their honeymoon.
Yes,
especially
yes,
around
yes.
their honeymoon trip.
Mm-hmm.
Who liked what aspects of their honeymoon trip?
Yeah, you can kind of piece their honeymoon together
Yes.
from both accounts.
Okay, so let's get right into it and start listening to that honeymoon trip
Here we
more.
go.
Here we go.
I was talking to my mom recently and she on the phone and she was like, do you ever think like, oh, I just have to keep on living? Like this just keeps going.
Just another day.
I was like, actually, I haven't really thought that before. But honestly, like thinking of dogs like we were talking about, it's kind of like they just get to live a compact 15 excellent years and then they're out. God.
They sleep so much. They just
know.
eat, they play.
They sleep the same amount as a human does in their lifetime, but in the 15
You're
years.
so right. They pack it in. They pack it in quite a bit.
They just get all the highlights. Most of it's sleep.
You're so right. They do get all the highlights. It is just a fast-tracked, amazing human life. Goals.
I honestly think like if reincarnation is a thing, I think like dogs are the next thing you gotta be. Like I
You're a
would
good
dog
human.
over human. You
Yeah.
gotta be a dog.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're a bad human, you're a cat.
Wow, hot take.
Man, people are gonna come for you.
I know.
It's okay. We're all dog people here.
Yeah.
So
This is
yeah.
a table of dog people.
Yeah.
But while we may all be dog people,
Yes.
Kimmy, I have to tell you something. We have been living a lie.
No.
You may,
Oh, you may know us as Garrett and Rachel.
Yes, I do. I do know you as that.
but we are that, and also we are secret agents for the National
Tourism and Travel Office.
Oh.
Otherwise known as
Ntato.
Ntato.
The Ntato? Oh my God. Wow. It's an honor. I had no idea I was conversing with the secret agents of the Ntato.
Okay, well, okay,
It's actually
hold on.
really nice to meet a fan.
I know.
'cause usually people
Yeah.
feel super betrayed and upset.
Wow.
I know.
No, not me.
But real quick, before you get too excited, we are interns. We are
Ooh.
intern secret agents.
Okay. And can you introduce me to the...
We don't even know who they are.
I know.
They won't tell us.
secret.
Yeah.
But we have been tasked with interrogating you about your travel stories so that we can both pitch you your dream trip.
Wow.
And the interrogation is not that bad.
Okay.
I
Not
mean,
that
we've
bad.
toned it down.
Okay.
We've toned it down.
Toned
But
down interrogation.
yes,
Okay. Yes.
from what we used to do.
No, I appreciate that.
We do have secret agent names.
What? Tell me. Do.
Okay. Okay. So you know me as Garrett.
I do know you as Garrett.
My secret
Liar.
agent. I know.
Okay, there it comes.
I know. Yeah, there it is.
Sorry.
Okay, that was,
Yeah.
It just took me a minute
I
to
know.
settle in.
My secret agent name is Secret Agent Sticky Toffee Pudding, which is my favorite dessert. It's a dessert from the British Isles, and I think it's wonderful.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Okay,
That's
you're
one of
a
my
fan,
Mhm,
right?
Oh, it's one of
absolutely.
your tops?
It's one of my tops.
Damn.
What do you like? Clotted cream, heavy cream, or ice cream on it?
Ooh. It's usually kind of like runnier cream on it.
Yeah.
And that one's delicious.
So like a heavy cream.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I could talk about sweet dog pudding for a while, but anyways, yeah. Long story short, there was actually this place, like this Irish pub I grew up going to in in Orange County, and it had
Oh.
the best one that I've had so
Is it
far.
still around?
I don't think so. I've been searching for it. There's certain like meals from my childhood I've been searching for, but anyways,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
No, that is yeah.
The interrogation is already.
It's already begun. You guys just got it out of me. It's crazy.
Shit.
We are experts.
Experts.
Well, I am secret agent pannenkoeken, which is Dutch for pancake.
Oh,
Because I'm Dutch, and what's fun is the pancakes can be savory or sweet.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dutch pancakes are
Ooh.
huge.
Yeah,
They're
they're kind of like a
massive.
giant.
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had some in Solvang myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Okay, so you're
appreciate a Dutch
familiar.
pancake very much so. Anything bigger is good.
Bigger
So
is
you've
better.
had all these worldly desserts here in Southern California.
I mean, I guess it is. It's kind of the privilege of growing up in this
Yeah.
area. You kind of do. There are like a lot more things you're exposed to.
Yeah.
I grew up in Irvine, so Irvine had a lot of really good like Asian food and Asian cuisine as
Yeah.
well. So then, yeah, pretty privileged there.
Have
and
I
then
told-
also, oh sorry,
Have
go
I
ahead.
told you I went to preschool in Irvine?
No, what?
Okay,
I
well,
don't
we
think
can
I
talk
went to
about it.
preschool.
I know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do they still have the bike the bike area where it's like a highway? It's like a playground for tricycles.
Potential. There's like a
Okay.
million parks in Irvine,
Okay,
so it's
okay,
very,
yeah,
very
yeah,
likely
yeah.
that it's still there.
Okay.
Well,
This was a long time ago. Okay.
Kimmy, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do this thing.
Okay.
First question: what was the first trip that turned you on to travel?
Ooh, okay. It's so funny because if I think back to when I first started going on trips, like my family and I didn't really go out of the country too much or anything. Like we had some fun little trips, but I wasn't like, I didn't really know what I was getting into then. Everything was very much like handed to me. Your parents tell you we're going here, we're doing this. So I would say my first like real actual like adult proper trip that I remember and was like, wow, this is what traveling is. I studied abroad in London. Nice. So when I went there and I took that leap and then like actually like right off the bat went on a bunch of like little mini trips, that definitely turned me on to it.
Yeah.
Like exploring like a new country and actually being old enough and aware enough
were
to
you
appreciate
like,
it.
I feel so adult right now.
I felt so adult. I honestly felt like, I'm like, why are they letting me do this? Like, I'm a baby. It seems-
You're just letting me go out into the world. How old were you in college?
This was I think I was 18. I was
Okay.
Oh, maybe actually no, maybe a little bit older. I think I might have been like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
So I was of the age where I could drink, but not at home. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like not
yeah.
in the
So
States,
you're like
but
an adult here, but a child at home.
exactly. Like at home, I was like, I'd have someone buy me like the biggest bottle of like Sutter Homes wine and I would nurse it for years. And then I went to England, I was like, oh, okay. I can actually just go get a new bottle.
Yeah, I can go to the pub.
I mean, I can have this.
I can have this anytime I want.
When you did 20-year-old Kimmy in London seek out sticky toffee pudding in the home country?
Ooh.
Of the
I
dessert?
did, but it was funny because I think I at the time associated because I had an Irish pub, so I was like waiting for Ireland. I guess I don't know,
Okay,
but
fair.
no, definitely, it's
Yeah.
so good.
I know.
It's just all the right textures, and they're
Yeah.
weird, but they're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
There's so many textures, and then
Yes.
there's a hot and a cold.
Yeah.
element.
Yeah.
I am just anything with like if there's something rich and then cream
Yes.
with it,
Yes.
done,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
sold. It's
yeah.
I'm in.
I have a rich tongue.
Yeah.
Poor,
To be your
poor
bio for
wallet.
something.
Poor wallet, rich tongue.
Yeah,
Poor
poor
wallet
wallet, rich tongue. Yeah, that's
so
my
good. That's your tagline.
tagline.
Oh my god.
Were you? I'm assuming you were part of some theater program. Is that why London, or
Ooh.
was
Good
it English? Or
I did have an appreciation for the arts then. So it was like this. I went to UC Davis, so there was like a UC
Okay.
center in London, and I chose the most like bullshit track you could possibly take at the UC Center. So it was all the fun arts things. So
Okay, cool.
it was like, I think I took a musical theater class, which is literally we go and see like musicals and plays. And that was like the class. Like we went to like 5 West End plays and musicals.
I
and
love those appreciating theater classes.
Exactly. Yeah. We went to like the Globe Theater and all that stuff and did the standing room, which is never again, but I'm glad we, the culture and art and all that. But no, ow.
4 hours for
4 hours.
full, I know. I've
That's
never
rough.
done a full Shakespearean play at the Globe.
Oh my gosh.
Like standing.
That
Yeah.
sounds fucking brutal.
No,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was young at the time, but even then I'm like, my age. Like, I could still, it was still pretty rough.
I feel like that's the hate theater program, like the designed to make you hate theater.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure you know what you're getting into? Like,
Look, you love theater. We'll teach you to hate
We'll
it.
teach you to hate it.
Stand in
Exactly.
the globe for 6 hours straight.
That's it. That's what you got to do. You got to pay your dues.
Yeah.
But no, there was like, I think there was a museums class I took. So then I would go to museums. It was like, I swear to God, it didn't feel like real. Like I was like, are we sure about this? Are we sure
Yeah.
this
Do you
is
want to
class?
do field trips? The class.
Yeah.
It was literally that.
That's awesome.
That does sound really great.
It was an ideal situation for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I was having the time of my life.
Where in London were you staying?
So I was in the most like touristy spot possible. It was like, I mean, there's probably worse, but I was in the near like the British Museum, the University of London.
You
So
were in the eye.
I was
Just
in the
riding
yeah,
it around
London
at
eye.
night.
right in the middle of the eye. Yep, that was my flat was in the eye. It was wild. I got very dizzy. But no, so I was there for about it was like 4 months or 5 months total.
That's a long
wow.
time.
Yeah. And then we like tacked on another essentially a month on top of that of like traveling. So
Okay.
it was good. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
So no.
Getting ahead of myself.
No. Don't apologize. No.
Yeah.
Where were you going?
When I was there.
Like on weekends, were you going out around? And then like, what is this? Unless this is an answer for a future one. But
No,
where all
this
were
is
you going? during this?
So I think in total, I counted it up and I could never recite it from the life of me, but I wrote it down somewhere. I went to 11 countries in total when I was there, which was amazing. We would go. It gave me an appreciation for traveling though, because I don't think I realized in the States, it always felt like a big effort to go and travel, like with my parents. And like, obviously they had young kids, like that's a lot to deal with. So I think I just always assumed in my head, like, oh, it's this like thing you got to gear up for. You can maybe do like once every couple years. And then in Europe, it's just, that's not in the UK. It's not the case. Like everyone travels. It's such a part of the culture to go all the time. So I was like, oh my God, I really can like hop on a cheap flight and, jet off to Paris or or like Edinburgh or whatever. Like it made it so easy to do that. So 11 countries, which was insane.
That's great.
It
How
was
did
so
you
good.
feel when you got back and you were a kid again?
Oh my
were
God.
you like depressed? Or...
I know, it was so, I think when I came back, I still wasn't quite 21 yet. So I was like, well, that part sucked. That part sucked. I went back to being a kid. Exactly. And then I wanted to do more of it. It felt weird to not. I think I was also like a little sleepy, to be honest. Like 11 countries was a lot. So I was a little bit sleepy. So it was nice to kind of like chill. But just getting right back into it just felt so out of body and strange. Like to go from the dorms and whatever to this insane, amazing, incredible experience and then back into that life was weird. It was,
especially like back to Davis.
Exactly. Cowtown. Feels so small,
like dusty air.
Exactly. It was so that, but it was incredible. Did you guys ever study abroad or anything in school? Or okay,
I did the UK.
Oh, you did the UK?
I did London, and we did our school did 3 months going up and down the whole UK.
Oh, amazing.
Following the journals of Boswell and Johnson. So Samuel,
I don't know what that is, but cool.
Yeah, Johnson wrote the first dictionary.
Wow. Okay.
And Boswell wrote the first like the modern biography. So he wrote the biography of Johnson, and like he was the first person to really embed himself
in
this other person's life.
This was
to
part
write
of the Hate
biography.
English program.
Yeah.
So
it was really cool because we
sounds
go
cute.
we
It
read
sounds cute.
their journals and then go to the spots and then
wow.
Yeah.
My journals, did you guys like read the dictionary? You're like,
Yeah.
so you learned this or did you
No, Boswell wrote a lot of journals about the trip.
Okay.
Notes for
Oh
his
my
biography.
God.
And then we then also like Shakespeare stuff and all that other stuff. But yeah, it was fun. But Rachel had the more exciting one.
Yeah,
Oh,
where'd
I
you
went
go?
to Santiago, Chile.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I was being like a little shithead in college. This is like very me, where like all of the Spanish majors would go to Segovia, Spain, and they would come back and they would be like, "You have to go to Segovia."
Oh
It's
my God.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will never go to Segovia. So then there
so
was
funny.
a summer program for Santiago, Chile, and I'm like, I'm going here because no one goes here. And it was an incredible experience. I'm so glad that I was on one and that I went. because
Yeah.
it was
And
like
that
really cool.
Were you happy you went off the beaten path? Like,
Yeah, because like at first I like didn't want to travel or study abroad at all because I was just, for whatever reason, I was like, again, if other people like it, I'm sure I'll hate it.
I love this
angsty,
angst.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like kind of stubborn, but then to get my
Just kind of stubborn.
but then to get my Spanish degree, I had to study abroad. So if I had to study abroad, I was like, I'll go to Chile. And I'm so glad I did, because I think like it blew my mind in so many different ways. I think like honestly, as like an American and whatever my education was like, oftentimes I think South America is just like a blank spot on the map where we're like aware it's there, but we don't know what's going on or what it is.
Totally, yeah.
And I think going there is like my first like experience going abroad,
Yeah.
like made me like very much like, I will die for South
It's the freaking best. You can't tell me otherwise. Yeah.
Segovia. Yeah,
I know we
so-
should go to Segovia someday just to see.
Honestly, I should just check it. I'm sure I'll think it's cool, but
Yeah.
So funny.
but it was a really great experience.
Okay, enough about us.
Anyway,
Kimmy,
Yes.
tell us a story about your best trip.
Ooh, okay. Oh, it's so hard. It's so,
I know.
'cause there's
You don't have to pick just one. If you've got a
No.
few, you can go through a few. Yeah.
it's like, because there's so many that are so good for so many different reasons. But I mean, like, Shane and I went on our honeymoon, and that was probably the best trip.
Yeah.
I also like a trip that's a lot of different places at once, and that's considered a good trip to me when I get to like go and visit. Like,
Oh.
so like when I went to London, I was like, oh, I can go all these little places.
Yeah,
And
like
that's-
a bang for your
yeah.
buck.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to end, so I just like
Yeah.
the idea of it continuing on and on forever. So
That's cool. Where you're like, oh well, we still have to go to Germany and
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
Netherlands and Spain, so it's
Yeah.
actually not over.
So
It's
yeah,
not
when you get
over.
back from like Prague, you're like, well, I still have Berlin to look forward to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
like, I want to tack on all the trips if I possibly
Yeah.
can. I wish I didn't have to work, and then I could just keep going. But yeah, that one was probably
Okay.
the best, because we did. I'm sure Shane probably told you guys when he was on. Did
Yeah,
he not
yeah,
even
yeah.
mention our honeymoon?
No, he totally mentioned
He
the
said
honeymoon.
this was
He
his
totally,
favorite trip too.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, was this when you guys were in Ireland?
We went to Ireland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he loved
Yes.
Dublin. Yeah,
He
we
did
did.
pick a Well, I'll get to it later.
Oh yeah. But no, it's so it's hard to pick one of those, like, because they were all different vibes. But like, we did Ibiza in Spain, and that was just chill, like fat chilling. Like, there was nothing you could do, which is good for a type A person like me, just to be like, sit down. You literally
Yeah.
can't do anything
Was
else.
it very
Yeah.
party or no? Like,
Not the time we went, because we didn't really know about the
Oh.
season of it. Like,
were
we're like,
you expecting party and then you were like, I guess we'll nap?
a little bit. Like, I was expecting at least
Great.
like one party. Like, but it was the reason that I was wondering why I found this like cheaper, all inclusive resort, and I'm like, it's so nice. Why is it like this inexpensive? And it's because it literally was the time when everything was about to
Oh,
close, and so.
yeah.
So funny.
It was
Yeah.
so. Shane and I do have a knack for perfect timing for things like that.
Oh,
for example,
that's a good
Is
knack.
that sarcastic?
It's very
Perfect
sarcastic.
timing? Okay, great.
like I don't know if he told you this, but when we went into Dublin, we literally arrived on the day of the marathon, so we like couldn't really even get our Uber to the hotel that
Oh
we
my
were staying
God.
in. With the like Ibiza trip, we planned it
Yeah,
right
the-
at that same time of like when it was just like
Yeah.
everything was dying, so it was really nice, but it wasn't there wasn't
Yeah.
as much to do and go out and experience. But yeah, him and I just have a good good eye for that.
Yeah.
Somehow know how to do it.
You guys like a challenge when you travel.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Can't just
Yeah.
be easy and
No.
relaxing and fun. It has to,
Do you,
it's
do you
boring.
like a relaxing trip, or do you like because it sounds like, you know,
Yeah.
it's nice to have, you know, things taken away. Like, do you like a beach and book and cocktail, or do you like?
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I love a beach and book and cocktail. I do have this, like, I hope I'll get over it one day, but I have this, like, everlasting fear whenever I go and travel to a place that it's going to be the last time I'm there.
I
So
know this.
I always feel that, like, pressure to, like, go and do and see everything. So if I feel comfortable with, like, sitting back and enjoying a beach and a book, like, that's awesome. But I also,
Yeah.
like, inside
It
I'm
can
like,
be
"Ooh."
torture.
Yeah. I'm like, what if I'm missing out on something? I'm not gonna fucking like just freaking just this monkey on my back that won't jump off. But it's so I'm trying to get better with that because I want to just. It's not about, like, I think with traveling, like, I've been trying to, like, kind of reframe my, like, view of it, because originally it used to be like, well, I have to do everything and see everything, and then that's how I experienced a place. And now it's like, well, you can have these amazing experiences and, you know, like, just show up somewhere without a plan and have it be just as wonderful as if you planned out every single second of the trip. If anything, more wonderful, because you didn't have to stress.
So what caused this shift? What made you want to change this way of doing things?
Because I'm like, I think I like traveling. I'm like, I really enjoy it, but I'm like, this could be better. I could be like, and it's all me. It's all me.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
yeah.
My
I
own
think
brain.
a lot of it is too, like, you're sitting there probably like with the most gorgeous view of your life, where you're like seeing something and you're already thinking you should be somewhere else. Like, I hate that. Like, I relate to this a lot.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm trying to learn that, like, right here is where I want to be, and not thinking I should be somewhere else, because I perpetually feel like I'm not in the right where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly. I don't know if you do this thing too, but, like, I also I have a tough time staying, like, in the moment and present, but to the point where it's like I'm enjoying this beautiful view, relaxing, sitting, and I'm already thinking about, like, oh, it's gonna be over in a day. Like I'm already like for, like,
and then you're like,
and then
now
I'm sad.
I'm not enjoying it, and now I'm sad, and then it, like, spirals.
Dumb brain. Yeah, absolutely. It's so I'm definitely just trying to get better at it as an adult, because I think I'm also realizing too, like, I'm not the same as my parents. Like, my parents like to travel, but, like, it would be very sparingly, and, like, just the way that they kind of operated. They also had kids at a younger age and things, so they were more restricted with that stuff. So it's like, I need to just I'm like, I can come back to a place if it's something that special.
You're
like
it's okay.
it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I can try and make that work, and, like, I definitely want to prioritize traveling even more with Shane, and, like, it just, and jobs and whatnot, because it's just, these are experiences that, like, you know, they're priceless. So want to prioritize them more. So I'm also that's also been trying to change the mindset as I get older. I'm like, oh, I have money, and this is how I want to spend money.
Yes, yep. This is the best way to spend
this is
money.
the best way.
This is what I'm going to remember.
I'm
Exactly.
reading
Later.
a book right now called The Happier Hour, and it's all about like managing, or like the concept of time, and how to, like, the psychology of it and how to work with it.
Oh, I need that.
And
Yeah.
she says that, like, a lot of people focus on, like, hyperfixate on, like, accumulating wealth.
Yeah.
Obviously, because, like, financial stability is important.
Right.
But her argument is, like, time is actually the most scarce resource we have. So more focusing on, like, the time you have and how to make it matter.
Totally.
Versus, like, the wealth you have, like, is actually kind of like, because when you're on your, you know, when you're on your deathbed, you're going to be like, well, how did I use my time?
Right.
Not like,
completely.
how did I spend my money?
Yeah, exactly. How much money do I have now? And it's
Yeah. What about my gold?
My gold. Where's my gold?
I feel really good seeing that pile of gold.
Yeah. I love that, though. That is so
Yeah.
true.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's blowing my mind.
That's blowing my mind. Yeah, no, I need to read that book. And then I also need to, like, turn my brain off to read a book. So that's also
Step by step.
step by step.
Okay, Kimmy, what's the tastiest thing you've eaten on a trip? I'm so curious.
That's tough. I think the thing, like, the first thing that, like, comes to mind is I went on a trip with one of my girlfriends to Tulum, and I went out of I don't know what, like, I don't know, like, possessed me to do this, but I went out of the box, and I was like, I never really had octopus before. And so there was a dish there with, it was like I think like a mole grilled octopus or something. And I was like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also, since I'm so type A, I'm also used to, like, I Yelp a place and I find out what, like, whatever meal is the most popular and whatever. So I just kind of, like, I was like, let's just see what happens. Let's put it out.
This is spontaneous.
This is so spontaneous. Exactly. I'm the vacation Kimmy. It just means spontaneous. She had a margarita. But yeah, it was insanely good. And I think I've been like chasing a meal like that since I got it. Cause like octopus is kind of difficult. Like it's not the first thing you think of when you're like, ooh, I don't know. It's not the lobsters or these like decadent meal. It's like, it's kind of hard to do right. Because it can be just like gross.
Yeah, squishy or
squishy
chewy.
and chewy.
Tough. Yeah.
It can be tough. But yeah, this one was like, I don't know what they did. It was so... Also, let me know if this is like, I know you guys are both vegetarian, so if it's weird to talk about like meat and stuff, let me know.
We meant to ask, what's the tastiest vegetarian thing you've eaten?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I had a good salad and grease.
Oh, wow, okay. Ooh.
Wait, so did this inspire you to take more food risks while traveling? Like to Yelp less?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think so. For some reason, I think I've gotten better at not Yelping on trips as much, because also like Yelp isn't as big of a thing in other countries, which is thank God, because it's you have to just kind of feel the vibe and like and just like gauge for yourself what you want to eat. Or like in Japan when I can't read a menu, I'm just like this and then see what happens. Just hope it's good. Just point at a menu. Oh yeah, it's a podcast. I just pointed at the table, but you can't see that.
I know, we're not one of those video podcasts.
You couldn't see that there is an imaginary menu.
There's an imaginary menu that I pointed to in front of me. Yep, that's. But yeah, I think it has inspired me to be more adventurous, because that was truly so delicious.
So then, how do you judge? Like, if you walk by a place, are you like, "Oh, this feels right"?
Yeah,
or like has vibes, or like.
Yeah, crowd's always good. It's always good to have a lot of people. It's annoying, obviously, to have to like wait, but like you can tell when people are like excited to be there, and it's not all tourists. That's also a nice thing.
And then if you're traveling with somebody, you're just waiting, hanging out with them. So it's like, you get to chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can just chill and enjoy. And then I think for me, like also, since I do have this like never ending fear of like, I want to make sure I experience all the things I possibly can. Yeah. I'll look at a menu, and if there's like a dish that's like signature to the area or like to the restaurant or something, like I always try and go a little bit more niche and out there. Cause I'm like, if I don't want like spaghetti that I can have at home. Like I don't want to just have like a normal like bolognese. Like I want it to be like the freaking dish of the
This is also very interesting hearing you speak about the monkey on your back, because Shane, when we talk to him, his primary concern is always thinking about like the financial aspect of travel. And like money came up a lot. Yeah. So it's like, wow, two anxious people.
That is fascinating that he would bring that up, because he really like he's more go with the flow. Like we're in the balance of things. Like he's always the one that's like, it'll be fine, everything will work out. And then like, and then I'll be the one that's like, freaking out about everything. So that's interesting that he's so concerned with that. Fascinating.
You'll have to listen when it comes out.
I have to listen.
Please listen to our podcast.
100%. But yeah, I guess it is. We could. Like, I think he's also good, like, bless his heart. I love my husband, but he's also really good at like, if I am anxious about something, like he's maybe also anxious too. Like he's going to be the supportive partner that's like, it's all going to be okay. So like he might be anxious, but he might like hold it in for me, which is sweet and also unnecessary.
This is the first time I'm learning that.
Literally like anxious and Shane have like never been in the same sentence before. So that's really interesting. Aww. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad he talked about it though. That's really good.
Honestly, it was beautiful to watch. He cried.
He sobbed at the time. Damn, you guys should be a video podcast.
Yeah. I know. No, I related to it because I used to be very stingy when traveling, where we were in Paris, and I was like, we can buy bread. Right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Which I was happy with that. We're in Paris. Of course, the bread.
The bread is so good. The bread and the cheese. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you consider yourself a food-based traveler? Is that like a big way that you choose where you go, or?
Ooh, I wouldn't say it's like how I choose where to go. Like I think I'm more of it like an experience or like visual, like like obviously if there's some really amazing monument or like freak of nature like natural thing that I can go and see, like that would like definitely push me over the edge one way or another. But yeah, when it comes to food, like I love trying to find the best like possible food place based off of like the vibes I'm seeing in a place I'm at, but like it wouldn't push me, I guess, towards one place or another.
Cool.
But are you guys like food? Like, is that the main impetus?
It's not the main impetus either, but I have had countries where the food was bad.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh, this kind of ruined my trip.
I think
sadly.
And also being vegetarian, it's like
it is tough.
That does kind of make me like, will I ever get to Mongolia? I don't know.
No, that's
it
fair.
looks incredible, but I want to be able to eat.
Oh my god, yeah. That is funny. Like I don't really think about that too much, but I will say like, and I can talk more about this trip later, but in the Philippines, like where half my family is from, when I went on that trip there, I was just like, give me a single veggie, please. Like, just one. I just want a lettuce leaf. Like, let me lick a lettuce and I'll be happy. Like, I couldn't find it. It was so wild.
I don't understand how some countries don't eat any vegetables.
No, it was all a lot of heavier. It was all meat, proteins, and like rice and like carbs and like different variations of rice and like various fonts. But
which sucks because when you showed up, at least I would be like, this fucking rules. This is awesome. Like, cancel the veggies. Let's do all the veggies. And by the second day, I would be like, I
know.
do this.
Because it's so funny. Like, I don't consider myself to be like a super veggie heavy person. Like, I'm like, I know I need to eat them to like make sure my body is okay and I have energy and shit. But like, when I was there, I was like, oh god, like I'm like salad. And I'm like, I've never been that person. It's all good. It's all good. It's all fun and games until your tummy gets all fucked up and you're like, no more. No more.
Yeah. Okay, Kimmy.
Yes.
What tourist attraction lived up to the hype?
Ooh. Oh my god. There's a few. There was this
Talk us through.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, I was thinking about some that like could have lived up to the hype too, but like I went to like the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland, right? Yeah, not Scotland, right? Okay, yeah. I did both, but it was so cloudy that day, but I know it would have been the best thing ever. Like, it just happened to be so cloudy. In the Philippines, I went to this. It's like in some list somewhere, it's apparently on like the natural wonders of the world list. I did look up the list recently and it's not on there, but I swear to God it was at some point.
It deserves to be.
It deserves to be, but it was this full underground river, like in a cave. And it was a really like cool experience getting to go and like explore. And I was like just fascinated the entire time and not as scared as I thought I'd be, like enclosed in a cave. Like, it was very like everything was, you had a lot of space. It wasn't as claustrophobic as it might seem. That was incredible. I stared at like La Sagrada Familia for like so long, just like like marveled at it, and it's just never ending. It's never gonna stop.
You can never absorb that into your brain.
No, I just was like, what am I even looking at? What's even happening right now?
Yeah.
What else is there? I feel like, I enjoyed like when I was in Paris at some point, we like went to the top of like the Arc de Triomphe, and that was also really special. Like, I didn't do the whole up the Eiffel. Yeah, we went on the top of it, so then like you could kind of it was a really cool view, and I didn't do the same for like the Eiffel Tower or anything. I think I made it to maybe like the first platform or something, and so it didn't get as high. That was amazing. But yeah, those are some. Do you guys have any that like? I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this, but I'm also curious. And I'm sure it's like,
sorry, I'm a good conversation.
I know.
Who's podcasting? Who's the host?
It's so funny. Whenever I get an interview in any way, shape, or form, I'm like, I can't
and
not.
Why do you think you're qualified to do your job?
Oh my gosh! But no, I feel like you guys have also been to. You guys are such good travelers, and that's your secret occupation. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it is our secret.
But you've been to so many places. Is there a place that I need to go to, like now?
I wasn't prepared.
Oh no, the tables have turned.
God. Well, I mean, that's that's what's coming. That's coming.
Okay,
Kimmy.
fair enough.
That's at the
Never
end.
mind. You're right.
Shut the hell up.
Shut the fuck up, Kimmy. Okay. Oh, I love to ruin a podcast.
So, Kimmy, what has been your biggest fish out of water moment? And it can't be not being able to ask questions on this podcast.
Right fucking now. No, it's so funny because I mentioned the Philippines briefly. So I've gone to the Philippines once, and it was the first time I went, I was like, the first and only time I've gone, I was like early 20s. And it was, for being half Filipino, it was the most fish out of water experience I had like, because it's like I know my culture. I will say, like, my grandparents immigrated to the States from the Philippines. My mom was born here, like in like downtown LA. But they really thoroughly, like that entire generation, my mom and all of her first cousins, like they wanted to assimilate them thoroughly. So there's been a lot of like me and my mom, like figuring out like our culture together and learning a lot and growing. And I'm so proud of it, but there's still so much I have to learn. But where we went in the Philippines, like it was where my grandma and my grandpa at the time like lived. And it's a very homogenized like culture. Like everyone kind of was around the same height. Like I was like over a foot taller than everyone. Like even like my uncles and stuff. The GMOs and American food and all. So I just I just shot up. But yeah, I was a lot taller, and obviously like I acknowledge that I'm white passing. So it's like to any native there, they're just kind of like, who is this person? And they didn't get as many tourists around there, so I really was just constantly kind of like stared at, and I just felt, I'm like, but it was kind of sad, where I'm like, oh, I just want to feel immersed in my own culture, but at the same time I stick out like a sore thumb.
A lot of people actually talk about this phenomenon, and I feel, and I've felt similarly. It's not as much of a reach as going to the Philippines and going to the Netherlands. And I almost think it's like the moment when you realize you're actually American.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like upsetting almost, because I think most Americans want to think they're actually something else, which is why we're sitting here being like, I'm Irish and Scottish and Dutch. And like, not to say
but
that you're not Filipino, but like it's like, for me, like, almost a similar story to like my Dutch grandparents immigrated over. Yeah. When I went to the Netherlands, it's just like, I'm not actually the same.
Yeah.
It's a weird
and it's
feeling.
As accepting as another culture could be. Like the Philippines were so accepting of me, but I was different. And like it's such a weird experience. And there's also the other like side of it all where, like in like a decent amount of like Asian countries, there is this like being white and American is put on this pedestal, and I don't really feel comfortable being on the pedestal, but at the same time it was just constantly brought up when I was there by like my cousins, my family, by just people around, and so it's just like from all angles I was like, I can't just like blend in here and like really feel a part of it.
And that feeling of like I can't blend in is also like, oh, this is like exhausting.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the, like, don't get me wrong, it was one of the most amazing experiences to get to like go. We went and visited like the like islands that my grandparents grew up in and they met in, and like they had an arranged marriage. That's where they could all happen and all went down. We visited some other family members in other parts, like other islands, got to visit some of the like even more touristy kind of like resort islands that have since been overrun as tourism and shut down. So like Boracay, that's unfortunate because it was so gorgeous. But yeah, it was an amazing experience overall, but also, never have I ever felt more like stuck out.
Wait, has Shane gone with you?
No, not yet.
Because I'm like, if you wanted to stick out.
Oh my God, I know. No, I literally cannot imagine him being in Davao where my grandma is. Like because with me alone, like, it would be very funny. Be very, very funny. Yeah, this 6'2" massive Australian man just trying to walk around. I feel like at least with like women, like people weren't as much like, they wouldn't stop me as often, but with him they probably be like, what? Like,
hold on,
poke him like
they're like, we need to take some photos.
But no, I can't wait to bring him back though. I'm very excited for that and to laugh at it. Maybe I will blend in then when someone else looks that crazy.
That's what you have to do.
Walking,
Exactly.
So you have to bring him
That's
to,
it. That's what I got to do.
Okay, Kimmy. If you could step into any moment from your travels, anytime you wished, which quintessential perfect moment would you pick?
Ooh, okay. I think I'll borrow from what I said my favorite trip was. When Shane and I were in Ibiza, we did have like a lovely, just like magical like pairing of moments that occurred. Because we were able to get this like, because again the resort was cheap because everything was closed. We got like a nice suite with kind of this upper deck level that looked out at the ocean, and then like had like its own like little private like kind of bath thing. And so we went up there with like a bottle of wine they had like given us for our honeymoon. And like it was like a bottle of champagne or something. So we were able to like pop it and like do that at the time of like sunset. And then at that same time, it just so happened that like right below us, there was this awesome like live jazz band that was performing at the resort just in general, but they never perform in that specific location where we were at. It just so happened they were like recording some really like aesthetic, beautiful like shots and images for their like social media page or something.
Cool.
So there was this beautiful performance that was happening pretty much just for us, like because they were filming, and so we got to enjoy that like while the sun was setting, and like I think that might have been actually our first night even at the resort.
Wow.
So it was truly it was so good.
I know.
You're like, I'm
truly
exactly
ideal.
where I am meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like it ticked all the boxes there. Like, so
Wow.
probably that.
Yeah.
Pretty freaking
Jake
good.
said something different.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
He said the night in Dublin where you guys were
Yeah.
That was
kind
fun.
of bopping around and listening to
Yeah.
different music.
Yeah.
And
Both music, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him and I love live music, anything. But no, Dublin was very fun. And that, like I think if there was another place like besides obviously like maybe Australia one day that we could live, I think like Dublin would be high up there. Because it was funny. Like the Irish culture is very similar to an Australian culture. I'd say they have a lot of
that.
the drinking culture is very similar.
Yeah.
They also like they love they love music in Australia as well. I was gonna say like I don't know of as many like amazing musicians in Australia as I do in Ireland, but like still, but they have big appreciation for music.
Yeah.
And then just like popping around to all the pubs was really funny. Did you tell you guys we went to like the most touristy possible pub you could go to?
Temple Bar?
Yeah, we went to Temple Bar.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, though.
We did. Yeah, we had
I've
to.
never been to Dublin, and I feel like I've got to go to Temple Bar if
We
I ever
had to go.
make it out.
It was so funny. It was, and just significantly more expensive than anything
Oh,
else in
I'm
that already
sure.
touristy area.
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, that was a really cool
And
night
not
as well.
an Irish person inside, except for behind the bar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like in the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was literally nothing. Yeah, maybe a server, maybe one, not all of them, but
Most of them were probably Australian.
yeah, probably. You're right. Yeah, they're definitely coming into Ireland.
Yeah.
They feel right at home. But that does make sense. I could totally see him saying that was his
Yeah.
favorite. Oh yeah, 100%. I also would have thought. Did he tell you about Nara as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he
he
did.
did,
He was really
yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah.
That's also another tourist attraction that lives up to the hype. I would say.
Yeah, I
That
think so.
one was really special. Like that was so
Yeah.
cool. That's funny though. Ireland was great. So
Okay, well, Kimmy, is there a local custom you've observed while traveling that you've implemented or wish you've implemented into your daily life?
yes. So I'm terrible at napping. And I wish I was good at it. But like when I went to Spain during my like study abroad trip and everything, the siesta was
Yeah.
like
So were you able to do it when you were there?
I think I was truly so exhausted that I could.
Yeah.
I was like, because like that's one thing too. Like the partying, and at least in Europe and especially Spain, like Barcelona. Oh my God. You guys, everyone goes out late and they stay out so late.
Yeah.
And in the States in LA, like things close at 2, like the max. So
Yeah.
I needed to sleep to be able to like stay up as late and then get up the next day. But no, the siesta, I'm like, I wish we had that as a part of our work culture, like midday siesta. In general, I feel like there's a lot of like work customs in other countries that haven't figured out, and we haven't quite gotten there.
I also feel like if you're doing fiestas, you're also a country that
Siestas.
Oh
siestas, not
yeah, I was like fiestas too.
I know. I love fiestas.
For me, a siesta is a fiesta.
Absolutely.
If you're doing siestas, like you're also appreciating food, and you're the type of country where you're having meals that last like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you just know how to kind of like luxuriate.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Savor the moment, like live in the moment. It seems like you're way more
Very in
present.
the moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, I'm God, I wish I was better at napping. I don't know. I do like when clubs and bars close here. I do.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a reason to go back home and sleep. But yeah, Jesus, the siesta would be nice.
Why can't we have both?
I know.
I
right?
know.
Exactly.
Early nights and nap.
I nap in the middle of the day and
Sounds-
also bed at 9. Like,
Ideal.
Yeah.
just all the sleep, please.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a surprise lightning round.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're gonna give you some either ors.
Okay.
And you choose. Well, yeah, we're gonna give you two choices. You choose one.
Mm-hmm.
First one that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? And Rachel, I have Danny
do
in my
my
lap,
best.
so if you can, you can. All right.
Okay.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
City or country?
City.
Beer or wine?
Oh, wine. Wine.
History or modern?
Wait, can you talk into your
History
mic?
or modern? I was trying to say it loudly into the mic.
Yeah.
I was
Give me more
really
time
stressed
on
out.
that.
about
Yeah.
it.
I know. I'm sorry.
Danny's out of
I
my
was
lap,
going
it's
fast.
fine.
I could have held the mic for you.
That's true.
History or modern? History.
Okay.
Clubs or cafes?
Clubs.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Fancy or casual?
Fancy.
Fast or slow?
Fast.
Oh.
Dogs
As
or
I say
cats or
slowly.
cows or monkeys?
Dogs or cats or what?
Or
Or
dogs
cows
or
or-
cats or cows or monkeys?
Dogs or cat.
Dogs, cats, cows, monkeys.
Dogs.
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 Yeah, dogs.
It's dogs.
It's always dogs.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Ooh.
We are going to take a break. real
Okay.
quick.
Your results say you would love Spain.
Oh my God, nailed it. I know. I'm like, this also feels like a personality test too. I'm like, am
I
I
know.
INFGF or whatever it is?
It's our Myers-Briggs.
That's our Myers-Briggs test, exactly. All right.
Okay. Cool. So
Okay.
we're gonna work
You gonna do
on
your thing?
this.
Okay.
Go ahead and chat with Danny.
I'll spend some time with Danny.
We'll be right back. Hi, it's me again, just promoting myself. I'm still doing the Fora travel advisor thing. So if you want to book a trip to Japan, somewhere in Europe, I know a lot about Scotland. I know some good ryokans in Japan. Go to Fora Travel, FORA/advisor/Garrett-Palm, 2 R's, 2 T's. And if you want to read my travel writing, go to garrettpalm.substack.com. All right, that's it for me. Bye. All right, we're back.
We're back.
We've crunched the numbers. And we have your 2 possible dream trips.
Yay.
So listen to these carefully because you will have to choose which one
Oh God.
to go on whenever we get the money to fund a trip for you. But
Amazing.
yes.
Amazing. Love this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, well, Kimmy,
Yes.
here's the vacation package, the dream trip I'm offering to you.
Yeah.
We're going for 3 weeks to Central America.
Woo!
Whoa.
Woo!
Okay, week number 1, I'm sending you to, and you'll be going with Shane because it seems like you two enjoy traveling together.
Thank you.
I
Thank
should
you.
say.
I
Yeah.
really should. Yeah, that's definitely
It-
important.
It, seems like you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to throw in some bridges. To
You gotta
your
throw in
trip
some
for
bridges.
But
Yeah, you
that.
gotta throw in a
know,
bridge or
for
two.
any of
Yeah.
Shane's secret financial anxiety, this will be a very affordable trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So now you don't even have to wonder if he's stressed out or not. 'Cause
Exactly.
He
He
won't
won't have to worry.
Yes. Okay, so for week 1, I'm going to send you to Guatemala. You're going to spend 4 days in Antigua, which is a colonial city ringed by volcanoes. It's very romantic and walkable. I'm going to have you guys go to this cool bar called El Barrio, where you can sit in an empty clawfoot tub and sip cocktails. Because I think
Fun.
that's fun.
That's so funny.
You'll dress kind of casual, but at night you're going to dress up and do a lot of fun rooftop dinners. You can see a lot of live music at Café Noce or Las Fibras de la Caspa.
Ooh, I love the specificity, by the way. This is
Thank
great.
you so much. But the thing I'm most excited about for you, also you should know there are a lot of dogs here, and cafes are like, dogs are cool. So there will be dogs
Awesome.
everywhere. But the thing I'm most excited about for you with your Antigua stay is for you guys to do an overnight hike where you will sleep above the clouds and watch Volcan Fuego erupt at night, which is kind of sick. And you can also do the Pacaya volcano trek where you hike on lava rocks and roast marshmallows over volcanic vents, because it sounds pretty cool. Then for 3 days you guys are gonna go to Lake Atitlan. It's this very like mystical lake surrounded by volcanoes and Mayan villages, which is, I keep on saying, which is cool.
I like that. You're like, right, yeah.
Right? And I'm going to have you go hot tubbing at Eagle's Nest, where you can have an epic sunset view while sitting in a hot tub that's in a hollowed out tree trunk.
trees.
In this area, you guys will be like kayaking, hiking, seeing all the beautiful butterflies and birds, and just like enjoying nature.
Gorge.
So that's week 1. Week 2, I'm taking you to Costa Rica. Very cool. I did it again.
So cool.
Okay, so it's got cloud forests, like crazy wildlife. You guys can have a little bit more adventure with zip lining. There are also hot springs. And get this, there's a toilet bar called Cafe and Macadamia where you sit on, that has toilet seats for chairs.
This tub and toilet theming going on. This bathroom theme.
We talked about the bidet.
Yes.
And I'm going to be...
You said you liked
and
our
I
new
like 'em
bidet,
so
right?
much.
So you guys are gonna see a lot of cool nature. There's sloths, toucans, butterflies, monkeys. This has got it all. And local shelters even let you borrow a pup for beach walks or jungle hikes. So you can make a dog friend. And I also want you guys to, this is seasonal, but you will be there for the sea turtle baby release. Where you guys see those little guys go to the ocean. Special.
So cool.
Then I'll have you guys go to Santa Teresa in Costa Rica. This is like beachy and stylish with like a good balance of like wellness and nightlife. You'll go barefoot by day and wear a cute cocktail dress by night.
Nice.
And there'll be, as far as live music goes, there'll be acoustic sets on the beach, and you might even see some fire dancers.
Okay. And are there toilets? No.
And these fire dancers, I've heard, have to go to the bathroom. So then finally for week 3, I'm going to send you to Panama. It's like Panama City in particular is very modern. A lot of rooftop bars and art galleries for your theater appreciation side. I'll also have you guys go on a Chiva bus, which are buses that blast music and everybody dances on them and drinks.
Cute.
It's a very iconic. They have them in Colombia as well.
Fun.
They're really fun. Panama also has a bunch of craft rum, so you guys will get to try that.
Nice.
But this is going to be like a little more dressy but cool. Cool. And if you want, you can stay at a jungle lodge in Gamboa for a day. Okay. But you're getting a lot of jungle, so I don't know. Okay.
We're jungled out by that
You're
point.
jungled out.
No.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Then you'll go to Bocas del Toro, which is like a beautiful like Caribbean island situation with boats instead of taxis. You'll see a lot of marine life. Here the music will be more reggae and Afro-Caribbean vibes. There will be chill beach dogs everywhere and dolphins. And then as far as food goes, it's kind of cool because it's also a food tour as well, because as you're going to these different countries, you'll be experiencing their different cuisines. So Guatemala, as far as food goes, will be more influenced by Mayan cuisine, Spanish colonial, and more rural. So it'll be... Your fiber intake's going to be great. It's gonna be corn, bean, plantains, chicken, avocado, chiles, like really rich stews and homemade tortillas, and cool coffee, which apparently is grown on the volcano. So very fun. Fun.
Cool.
Then in Costa Rica, the food will still be like very simple and health conscious. A lot of rice and beans, fresh seafood, tropical fruit, smoothie bowls. Really, really nice and fun.
And
And
cool.
then in Panama, their food scene is more a mix of Afro-Caribbean, indigenous, Spanish, and Chinese influences, because Panama actually had a bunch of Chinese people immigrate there. So you'll get to try that out. And then throughout this, you're just going to be staying at glamorous, like hotels or cool eco lodges.
Nice.
Yeah, other than the one night you spend on the volcano. Cool. That's the trip I'm offering to you.
Yeah.
Very nice. I feel like Danny is applauding by digging.
Yes.
Is that applause?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, dude.
I scared him.
Danny,
Okay,
that's
Danny.
good. Nice.
Good boy.
He likes to do that until he's gotten his
Oh,
space.
right. Yeah, he's gotta
what-
dig
what-
it
But
out.
usually if we go, that's good. He's like, yeah, you're right.
You're
You're
right.
right.
You're right.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
whoa. What was I
Yeah, I
doing?
meant to do that.
Yeah.
I gotta slow down.
All right, Kimmy.
Okay.
I'm also sending you with Shane.
Nice.
This is a long, probably close to 3-week trip.
Okay.
I think that was yours, right? Yep. This one, I am basing you out of Istanbul,
Ooh, okay.
otherwise known as Constantinople.
Yeah,
by
I'm
my
familiar with the
people.
song.
Yeah.
You've heard it.
The
You've heard
song.
it, yeah. And from there, you'll kind of explore a bit of the Caucasus, a bit of Turkey, a bit of the Middle East, and a bit of the Balkans.
Okay.
And kind of going back through Istanbul kind of each time.
Ooh.
So you'll start off with Istanbul. So you'll fly in and out of Istanbul. You'll see the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque, just these Byzantine Ottoman architecture. Have you seen them? They're like wild looking. Are you pulling it up? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, just like all these domes and minarets, and it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I'll also send you to the Basilica Cistern because you like underground water.
Yeah.
And this
Hell yeah.
is it's an old ancient cistern. So it's like
Wow.
all symmetrical, this water, and there's wooden elevated paths through it.
Nice.
And it's it's just really beautiful and old. It's the oldest representation of like Byzantine kind of water engineering. While you're there, you'll have some waterfront. Do you like seafood? Yeah, you like seafood.
Yeah,
so
can
like,
I answer?
Yeah.
You can't
You
say
like
anything.
seafood. You'll have balak ekmek, which is it's like
yes.
something you can go down to the waterfront and there's all these boats selling balak ekmek out of the
Okay.
boat, if I remember correctly when I was there, and it's a grilled mackerel sandwich.
Ooh, okay.
You'll drink Turkish coffee,
Nice.
and the best part about some of the Turkish coffee spots is like you'll just see a table
Yeah.
sitting on a street corner with like a little thing of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit at one of the chairs, somebody pops up and is like, what would you like?
Yeah.
You order a couple of Turkish coffees. They disappear to who knows where, and they come back with Turkish coffee. At least that was one place I went.
In your experience, yeah.
Yeah. You'll also eat simi, Turkish sesame bread rings. So it's
yummy.
they're really good. They're
sounds
like
great.
really tasty. They're kind of pretzel-y, but a little they're like but covered in sesame. They're like these round
Sesame's
things
great,
that
yeah.
hang from hooks.
Cool.
And you'll kind of check the markets. Maybe go to some a jazz club, classic and modern jazz, Babylon, world music, maybe some Turkish indie music.
Okay.
And then from there, you'll take a flight to Tbilisi, Georgia.
Oh.
You'll see the Narikala Fortress, kind of overlooking the old city. This beautiful cathedral. The sulfur baths.
Okay.
You'll go to a spa district and
Nice.
get to have some baths in sulfurous water.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had King Kali?
No, what's that?
There's a place in Glendale that sells it. It's Georgian soup dumplings.
Oh my gosh, yum.
Yeah.
Okay, love a soup dumpling.
Yeah, okay. So this is like Georgian. It's also Armenian. They're huge dumplings full of like a meaty soup.
Ooh.
Then you'll take a train, a 10-hour train to Yerevan in Armenia. You'll see like the square, a lot of the old city. There's the Gigard Monastery, a medieval monastery in a dramatic gorge, like cut into the rocks. You'll eat a lot of lavash, which is that flatbread with grilled meats. You'll go to another market full of dried fruits, cheeses, and spices. And then a flight to Baku. In Azerbaijan. There's a walled medieval city there. There are the flame towers, which are these modern skyscrapers that light up at night. They're very like distinctive looking, like kind of like come to a point. And lots of dolmas to eat, like lots of good food in Azerbaijan. Yeah, and it's very modern, like lots of cool music. Then you'll head back to Istanbul. You'll kind of relax a little bit. You'll probably go to Karakoy, which is a lot of bars and street murals, and like walk along the Bosphorus. You can maybe take a ferry across the Bosphorus, which is like the big strait there. Oh, okay. Has a huge bridge for Shane.
Points for Shane.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
You mentioned bridge at some point, right?
There's a road bridge in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
You'll kind of like, it'll be like a chill day in Istanbul. Chill couple of days in Istanbul. Cool. Like probably eat some Turkish ice cream. Have you had Turkish ice cream?
I don't think so.
Have you
Turkish delight I've had, but is it similar vibe? I don't know.
Have you had the Iranian or Persian ice cream?
I feel like
Mashti Malone's?
Mashti Malone's.
No, I don't know if I have.
It's right
more, by the window.
Yeah, it's in Silver Lake, but they all started in West LA, like a bunch of these Persian ice cream places.
Oh, cool.
But it's like more like a taffy ice cream.
So
it's a little chewier.
No, I haven't had that.
And a lot of like orange blossom, like all sorts of flavors. Yeah. So you'll get some Turkish ice cream, walk around. A lot of these areas are full of cats. That's fine.
We'll ignore them.
We'll ignore them.
Not my trip.
Then you'll take a couple of days in Jordan.
Okay.
You'll fly over to Jordan. It's like a, 2.5 hour flight. Mm-hmm. Do you know what's in Jordan?
Not particularly.
Have you heard of Petra?
No.
Have you seen Indiana Jones where he goes into the temple that's like in the cliffs? That's Petra.
Oh, okay.
So you'll go down this like sandstone canyon or redstone, I don't know what, and it's a rose red cliffs. It's an ancient city carved into the cliffs in the canyon.
Whoa.
And there's tons of great food. Do you like Middle Eastern food?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lots of hummus.
Nice.
I
just had Dune.
Yeah. You just went to Dune. Yeah. And
I locked on to bidet.
I
Garrett locked on to Dune.
And then, so that's just a quick little, bop into the Middle East, and then you'll head back to Istanbul to go to Cappadocia.
Okay.
Cool. Which, where you will stay in a cave in a fairy chimney.
Whoa.
And
Fairy chimney? Yeah.
Fairy chimney.
Fairy chimney.
They are. It's a crazy place.
I like
it looks
imagery.
otherworldly.
In my mind, but you have no idea. What
Yeah,
fairy
it's like,
chimney.
It's a city. It's a region full of these pointy rocks that they've carved into. Some of them look like penises. But they've carved into.
That's points for Shane. He thinks it's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Great. He will crack up.
Yeah, there were no penis buildings. Rachel.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I had so many toilets.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
So there's all these. So like they've turned some of these into homes. People traditionally take hot air balloons around. It's just like there's the penis ones.
Nice.
Yeah. For Shane.
Funny dicks.
Yeah, it's just like all these crazy rock formations in the city.
Cool.
Yeah. What? Oh, it's Danny. Danny's being cute. Oh, you're putting Danny on.
Got a little snoring.
He was snoring a little bit.
Oh wow!
Taking
Are you
siestas
saying I'm
very
going too long? And there you'll eat like gözleme, which is like a Turkish crepe, full of like Turkish seasonings, and it's very good.
Yum.
And then you'll head to the Balkans. So you'll go to you'll kind of like go down through like the some old bazaars, Ottoman era streets full of cafes, like tight walking streets, and like Skopje. Sofia has like this beautiful cathedral with right in the middle of like all these markets and parks. I'll send you to Sarajevo, which is like this beautiful history, full of history and like silver markets, like with tight. You'll see some like kind of like Balkans jazz in the streets, and then some concerts.
Yeah.
With like a bunch of little old ladies singing along. Then on down to Athens. Which we all know what Athens.
Yeah.
We all know Athens.
Athens is great.
And then from Athens, you'll hop back to Istanbul and be on your way.
Okay.
That is your trip.
These are great. These both are great. You know, it's so funny. Like, I think about what I want my next big trip to be, and I feel like hearing, because these are both incredible trips that I will take. Can I do both? Is that? Can I do both?
Yeah.
I'll pick one. I'll pick one. But I like
first off, when we get the funding, we'll send you on a trip, and then if somebody else decides not to go on their trip,
cool,
we'll send you on your other trip.
Yeah.
But no, I think you guys did a great job of getting like, because they're very different trips, but also both things that I'd really enjoy. Good job. You guys have done this before.
Thank you.
Done this before. I think you've done it, experts. But no, these are incredible. But also, it's like hearing them out there. Like, I'm like, both sound so cool. But it helped me like picture what I'd want my next one to be. Where I'm like, which one seems like I'm like, oh yeah, like maybe that's what I need in my life right now, and that's what I'll end up choosing.
Yeah. But it sounds like you also like you were imagining a third trip during our pitches.
A third trip?
Yeah, where you're like, oh, I really want to do this as my. No, okay,
no.
Never mind.
I was saying, like either like I just didn't know what I wanted my next trip to be.
You were trying them on.
Yeah, I was trying them on.
Okay,
exactly. I was really imagining myself in the places. No, for sure. And I do have to say, I think just the vibe overall in my heart right at the second, but they're both so good. You guys are so good. I think I have to go with Rachel. I love
she always wins.
It's honest. I've been wanting to go back to like Central America, and I haven't been to South America. Like that vibe sounds so cool. And I was supposed to be going to Mexico for a friend's 40th birthday upcoming, but it just got canceled. And I was like, no. That kind of like brought me back to that place a little bit. She ended up like having like, I think she was going to go to Mexico for a wedding like a week later. So she's like, I can't. And I'm like, fair. But now I'm like,
but what about us?
What about me? You're not your 40th birthday. What about me? Have you thought about me?
Bring me to the wedding.
Exactly. I know that. I'm like, I'll be a plus one.
Well, honestly, Mexico City's not too far.
I know. It's a short flight from here.
I've never been to any of the places you mentioned. So I'm like, they're all like, that all sounds so cool. I've only ever gone to Mexico and like Central America. So that sounds really cool. But they're both so cool. But yeah, you know, she had dogs. I really want.
There are
and
dogs
add
everywhere.
Add cats. Yeah.
I will say, hearing that, Garrett, I was like, I want to go on.
I know. I
It's
know.
so
That sounds
funny.
sick.
It would be
Yeah.
cool to just
Bop
base
around.
out of Istanbul and bop around. That
Yeah.
would be a lot
Have
of
like
fun.
when you guys come up with these trips for your past guests, like does it inspire you to want to go to new
We've
places?
gone on a couple
Oh,
of the
have
trips that
you?
we've
That's
pitched people.
awesome.
Yeah.
We've gone to Portugal, which was pitched, and then
Ugh.
we've also gone to Colombia. And
Yeah.
I would have just all of your things. I was like, Kimmy should just go to Colombia.
I know.
yeah.
I know.
It's like
Colombia is awesome.
Oh my
pretty
gosh,
much,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
sums up your whole vibe. It's
Yeah.
like
That sounds so. I would love
dogs,
to.
tropical,
Yeah.
gorgeous nature, but you still get like there's so much like
Yeah.
nightlife and
Lots
like
of
it's just.
variety.
Yeah, fun.
I mean, I'm such a huge Colombia stan now after we
Yeah.
went, but that was a trip I pitched, and then we went, and it
Yeah.
was
Oh my
awesome.
god.
Yeah.
No,
Both trips we've gone on Rachel pitch.
But Garrett often pitches trips he's already
been
gone
on.
on.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
so- I pitch aspirationally.
yeah,
Garrett
yeah.
pitches more like historically.
yeah.
Yeah. No, but they're both so cool. Like I feel like send me those itineraries, please.
Okay, yes, of course.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Well, thank
gosh.
you so much, and we do have to say that we do not have the funding to send you on this trip right now.
God
but
damn
as
it.
soon as we work our way up through
Okay.
Untato, we will
Okay.
send you on your trip to Central America.
Fair enough. I'll be waiting.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.
And that was Kimmy.
Yep. You okay over there?
Yeah. I thought I had a good chance there.
No, I'll say I honestly wanted to go on. Probably I would have gone on your trip
Yeah.
over my trip, despite all the novelty toilets and bathtubs that were a part of my trip. I feel like the trip you pitched was just like a part of the world I don't hear about a lot.
Yeah, or we hear about negatively.
Yeah, totally. But looking at encouraging listeners at home to look at a lot of the places you mentioned, because
Yeah.
it was really a feast for the eyes, like truly an Indiana Jones
Yeah,
level tour of like ancient structures and also hyper modern stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baku has got some cool modern stuff. It's
Mhm.
Yeah. I was proud of that one, although at a certain point I did feel like I was just like, and then you'll do this, go here, do this, next, you'll do this, go here, do this.
Yeah, you have to tell the story
I
of
know.
the trip,
I
not
lost
just
the
the
story.
itinerary of the
Yeah,
trip.
I lost the story in that. Okay, well, hopefully this our next episode, I'll think about that.
We'll see.
I'll think about the story. We'll see.
All right. And again, you can follow Kimmy at Kimmy Does Stuff.
And you can like us and give us reviews, give us 5 stars, tell your friends about us at Agents of Travel. I mean, we're
on Apple Podcasts.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the podcasting
Yeah.
places. But yeah, tell people to listen because we like it when people listen to us.
Incredible.
Yeah. All right. Away we go.
Travel safe.